Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Now look here. Matt Coolie is on his way home. He done recruited somebody in the op, you know what I'm saying, to help him pull this caper off. He's locked in, y'all. He is going to rob Max Skip's parents. He knows when they're at home. He knows when they're not at home. He knows all of this, according to Max Skip. That's been running it down. Somebody that has not been home for a couple of years now because he's been in the penitentiary is telling the movements of his parents to somebody that he does not really know. But because he's one of the guys, he trusts them. And Matt Coolie trusts everything that Max Skip has told him, even though he has no reason to really believe everything that he's been told. Yes, he knows it's true that they come from money. You understand what I'm saying? But they work for it. He knows that. But how would somebody that has not been in the house know how they're moving in the last couple of years? Think about it. Think about it. You got friends that you know out there, y'all. You ain't been over their house in 2 years. You ain't had no communication with them in 2 years to any real meaningful extent. And then you think you can tell me when they come home, when they go to the club, when they go to the restaurant, when they do any of that thing, that type of stuff? You wouldn't be able to tell me that and be accurate. It's just no way, unless they had not changed any of their moves. And how would you know that? But you had no contact with them. That's something that you learn by watching, observing. You understand? You gotta watch to be able to do that. But Matt Coolie took for granted that everything that Max Skip had told him was true. One, because he was blinded by his resentment for him. Two, he needed it to be true. He wanted his life to be different, and he needed it to be true. He had to be right, because what he wanted to do, it was going to change his life. So he didn't want to question this information that he had received. It had to be true. This was the key to his whole life being different. This was the key. It was the key. So now he goes by the house just to speak, let everybody know, you know what I'm saying, that he's home. And Max Skip's parents, they welcome him with open arms. And they tell him that everything is going to be fine. And if they can help him, he needs to let them know. And he tells him that he's going to be straight. He tells him that his life was going to be just fine. He had just worked on some stuff. He had this job he was going to start working. And everything was going to be better for him in the next few weeks. They were excited for him. They were overjoyed at the idea that this person that had it so hard in his life, that had been just released from prison, and somebody that their son had gotten to know and they call his brother, even though it's in the gang atmosphere, they were happy for him. They were excited for him. They wanted this to be true. They had no idea what was about to happen. So Max Skip, he calls to talk to Coolie. And Coolie is telling the man everything is straight. He gonna look out for him, and everything gonna be just fine. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna put money on his books. Everything gonna be straight. Man, this dude got this thing mapped out, y'all. He got this thing mapped out. There's no reason for this not to work in his mind. Not a reason in the world. He thought this through. He has thought this through, y'all. But see, that's how it goes, though. A lot of times, man, you'll have somebody sitting around you talking about what they want to do with your stuff. You don't know it, though. How they going to live better with your stuff. Live better off of your hard work and what you put in. They expect you to do for them. And then when you don't do for them the way that they think you should do for them, they want to take something. And see, a lot of that starts with resentment. The resentment that they build up against you because of what you're doing, the work that you're putting in and what you have, and they're trying to compare to what they don't have. Everybody wants to eat the bacon and the eggs, right? But they don't want to put in the work on the farm. You feel what I'm saying? To get that bacon and eggs. Meaning getting up early in the morning, going out to feed the pigs, and get the eggs from the chickens and all this and that, and then going to the slaughterhouse to make the sausage and the bacon and all of that kind of stuff. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the work that's going to put that breakfast on the table in the morning. And Coolio was that type of person. Yeah, his experiences were hard, but it caused him to misread a lot of things. And yeah, Skip's parents misread him. Just a little understanding either way, and this would have been different. But that's not the case, y'all. It's not the case at all. So here's what happened. Let me break this thing down for you. Matt Coolio, he gets with the op, right? And the op is filling his head full of all of this nonsense. Hey, I got it. I've been researching the different safes and all this and that, and I know how to get in it. Is that true, y'all? Come on now. Think about this. How many people you know that engage in safe crackers? This ain't Ocean's 13, man, or Ocean 11, or whichever one it is. I don't know the number now. But this ain't that. Everybody sit around. That's how a lot of people do, right? They sit around and play video games, and then they think they can get out on the basketball court and be LeBron or Kobe or somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? They ain't thinking about the thousands and thousands of jump shots they've shot and the hours of work, 1,000 hours of work that they've been putting in, right? Now all of a sudden somebody sit down and watch Ocean's 11 and think that they, just like George Clooney, can get on there and pick a safe and all. What? Wait a minute. Put a stethoscope up on you and then you can just lean on that and then you can click. And you hear the thing going clickety, 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 click. That's it. And then go the other way. It ain't working like that, y'all. Even if that is true, man, you ain't practiced that. But see, Coolio needs it to be true. Again, convinces himself that everything is fine. And see, that's not playing chess, that's playing checkers, y'all. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna even disrespect the checker player. That ain't even playing chess. That's just lying to yourself. That's what that is. You just lying to yourself. Because you're basing something so serious as your future on something that is gonna require you to violate somebody. No. That's dangerous. Because you don't know how that's going to turn out. You have no idea what could happen because you're not calculating the correct way. See, when he went by the house, Coolio didn't think about what could be if they were there and how this could play out. Now, they had enough sense to mask up. Because when you're getting it in the mud, you got to mask up. Right? Got to mask up. That's part of it, right? It's part of it. You got to put the mask on so you can see. You got the part where the eyes cut out in the mouth so you can still talk and all this and that, right? To each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get that off TV, right? Yeah. We bandits. But this ain't a game. So when they get up in there, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, the lights and everything is off. But they done got in the house. They done broke the window. Cling. Crawled up in that junk. Now they in there. Now this in a nice neighborhood. And you got neighbors. But when they crawl up in there, and the neighbors hear that glass break, you see lights come on. Oh, wait a minute. They get down on the floor. Now they panicking. Wait a minute. Now, they got a garage, right? So the garage in this particular neighborhood, they use that garage. See, a lot of people don't use the garage. They'll park the car right outside the garage or right there on the road. But see, Max Skip's parents, they used the garage. So when they got there and they saw no car in the parking, in the driveway, they assumed that nobody was there. Now, all of a sudden, the lights in the house come on. I thought they were supposed to be out. I thought they had dinner every Wednesday night. According to Max Skip, they went out to dinner every Wednesday night. It was a family tradition. But the lights are on. Now, Matt Coolio, he look at the op look at him, and now you could tell something's off. So the op he inadvertently just raised his mask up right to his nose, over past his mouth. He said, man, I thought you said wasn't nobody gonna be here. Then man, Coolie will look at him and say, man, pull your mask back down. He pulled the mask back down, but he pissed off. Cause he looking at it like, man, this fool done got me in some mess. So, hey, he had the business. He reached down and he showed him, he raised up his shirt, he showed Matt Coolio that 9. He come to play for keeps. He said, man, look here, man. We ain't taking no shorts, man. We coming up out of here with the money you said was in here, and that's dead on that. Now, Matt Coolio, he had that look in his eyes like, this is not what I wanted to happen. But I'm in here now. Ain't no turning back. I gotta let it do what it gotta let it do. So he tell him, he said, you know that. We're leaving with what we came for. But wait a minute. They can hear the footprints. Somebody's walking. Footsteps, I mean. Somebody's walking in the house. You know when you walk in, you got them wooden floors? Nice wooden floors. You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't even need carpet. You can hear the weight of the body as it's pressing down as the person is walking. So they hear, wait a minute, sound like 2 people. Coolio's heart started beating. Doom, 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 doom. It gets faster and faster, right? Because it's like they're here. And now the reality of the situation starts to weigh on him. I know them. They know me. I know their son. And at the oddest moments, when you're in situations like that, your brain will just go all over the place, right? So he started to think about when they were at visits and the things that they did for him and how they talked to him. And now all of a sudden, he's in a conflict. He's in a dilemma, y'all. What do you do? These people were nice to me. But I just want to do something that can change my life. I want a better life. And they got it like that. They're not going to miss that. It's not that much to them. I just want to do better by myself and the people I care about. The jury's insured. They can get the money back. These are smart people, right? And he starts to doubt what it is that he came to do. So Skip's dad, he sees them. He sees both of them. They're still crouched down by the window that they had come through. And he turns and he tells his wife, because she's right behind him, he said, look, go back to the room and lock yourself in. And don't you come out for nothing until you hear my voice. And call 911 right now. But the neighbors had already done it. Because the neighbors, in neighborhoods like that, oh, they watching. So when his wife go back in the room, she locked the door, she get the phone, and she called 911, and she said, we got some intruders in the house. Said, what's the address? She give him the address, and the 911 operator said, man, we already got somebody en route. We just got a call a few seconds ago about the same incident from the same address. Now, Max Skip's dad, he got that thing, y'all. See, it's another thing that Max Skip didn't fill in. He didn't know his daddy had learned to shoot. Been going to the range. Oh, yeah. You know, hey, look here. When you got folks like that and they live in a certain lifestyle, hey, they gonna protect what's theirs. So he walking. And he been trained. The way he holding that thing, he got that thing solidly in his hands. It's in front of him. Both hands on it. And he's looking. And man, let me tell you something else. He got that beam on that thing, man. Where that beam go, the bullet gonna follow. That's just what it is. And he see him. And when he seen him, the op jump up. And he got his gun. He pointed it right at Max Skip's dad. And at the same time, Max Skip said, drop the gun. Drop the gun. Don't make me shoot you. And the op pointed it at him. Max Skip's dad Fire 2 shots real fast. Fire. I'm talking about dropping. One of the rounds hit him center mass in the chest. Dropped him like a sack of potatoes. You hear me? Now, Matt Coolie, he laying down on the floor still. And Max Skip's dad said, don't you move. So Matt Coolie, he makes a reach towards the gun, because it's still in the hand of the op that's laying there, sitting there really crouched by the window. He gone, y'all. He gone. Somebody gonna have to tell his mama. You feel me? They gonna be walking slow and singing sad. You know what I'm saying? With the casket in their hand, with flowers on top. It's over for him. He said, don't do it, son. Don't do it. Merculio slid his hand back. He said, put your face down in the floor. Merculio put his face down in the floor. And then Max Skip's dad, he walks over there to him. And the oddest thing happened. Max Skip's dad gets over there near him, and he could hear the young man crying. Please don't shoot me. I'm sorry. And Max Skip's dad, he recognizes the voice. And he says, take that mask off, slowly. Merculio, he reaches up with his right hand and he pulls the mask off slow. And before he got the mask all the way off, because his face was laying to the point to where, at the angle where Max Skip's dad could see him, before he even got it all the way pulled off, Max Skip's dad said, Coolio? Coolio looked up at him, tears in his eyes. He said, son, what are you doing here? And he just stared at him, still pointing that thing at him, right? With that beam on it. And he said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. You wasn't supposed to be here. So Max Skip's dad just looked at him. He's puzzled. And about that time, you can hear the police sirens. They're going off in the blue and red lights. You can see them. They coming. So Matt Coolio, he looks, he said, please let me leave. He said, no, I can't do that, son. He said, you came in here and now somebody's dead. He said, you got to answer for this. He said, please, let me leave. I promise you, I won't say nothing. Max Skip's dad pointed that thing. He said, look, get back down. See, now it's getting real. Because Coolio know if he could leave and don't nobody say nothing, he can get away. Right? But Max Skip's dad is like, why are you here? I don't understand what you're doing here. And he told her, I was just trying to have a better life for myself. Y'all don't need the money. And Max Skip's dad is looking at him like, well, what does that have to do with anything? What does it matter what we have? And he started to think about his son, Max Skip, been running his mouth. So a knock came at the door, and Max Skip's dad, he yelled for his wife to come out and go unlock the door, let the police in. If you want to know what happens next, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting so